All right, Kansas and Western fans, it's time for episode 8 of the construction of my Kansas and Western HO railroad. A lot to discuss. First of all, we'll start here on the wall. Now that I've got some display areas of the layout under construction, that adds to the list of possibilities of things to work on. So I created this job plan, and basically it lists all the major aspects of the construction of the railroad. And what this has done is it's basically forced me to work on different aspects that I generally like to put off, like electrical or painting or something like that. So what I'll do is every day I'll focus on one of these aspects first. And then once I at least finish one job for that type of thing, like planning or bench work, I can move on to stuff that's more fun or more prioritized. But this way the railroad kind of progresses at a more even pace. And I'll have an illustration of that here a little bit later. But starting here with the helix, I've only gotten one more layer added, and it's because I've run into one of those job order issues where in order to test the track up the helix, I need to be able to switch trains down below at this junction, which I'm starting to refer to as Coca Junction, short for Colorado, Kansas. And right now that switch is disconnected because I don't have a control panel for it yet. So what I'm starting to do is work on the bench work around the corner so that I can get the bench work built around this middle level here, because this is where my control station is going to be generally for the whole layout. And that's where this power pack is going to rest, where my accessory bus is going to run, and so on and so forth, because the bus is going to go back around all the way here to where I can provide power for this junction down here. Oh, there it is. So bouncing around does slow me down a little bit, but part of the reason I like the hobby is because there's all kinds of different things and tools and aspects that you can work on if you get bored on a different one. So that's why we're at where we're at. I'm not upset by it. It's something I knew would happen, so that's what we're faced with. Anyway, so there's the helix. It's going to take a little bit longer to build now, just because I'm focusing on those other aspects, but it's working. And we'll start with our first location of the layout on the display portion, the middle level. This is going to be Holly, Colorado, and I managed to pull this photo off the internet of what exactly I'm trying to model, which is this combination grain elevator and then some older ones that sit beside it. So far, this is what I have mocked up just to get an idea for space and how it's going to look. Got the main line here in front on the higher HO level cork, and then the back two will rest on the ground just to show a difference of line importance. But laying these out is what I have to do to figure exactly how I want to lay the track permanently. Because, I mean, I can draw ideas all I want and to scale, but until I can see how it looks in front of me, how the cars sit on it, and then operationally how it will work, I have to just lay it out. So I think I finally settled on a plan here. I'm hoping to feature Holly in my next operations video. So obviously I have a bit of track work to get done, but I'm excited to do it because then I can start to operate trains instead of just running them up and down out of the helix. Moving around here, this section here, this entire wall length will be Lamar, Colorado. This is the base for a Santa Fe style train station that will be here. I believe Lamar still has Amtrak service. And then beside it, there's an old steam Santa Fe locomotive displayed in a park. So I plan to buy a DC version of one of those, so a cheaper version just to have it sit there. If I could find a dummy that looked right, I would do that. And then there'll be a small interchange yard here in Lamar because the Holly ended up being shorter than what I expected. So I'm not going to have a double-ended siding. So it's going to be single-ended, just a spur. And for that to be served by a single locomotive, it's going to have to come out of Lamar for an interchange, bring its cars in, back them into these two spurs here, and then use this runaround track to organize them. So kind of a interesting little switching plan, problem to figure out, but I've worked it out in my head and on paper, and it'll work. It'll just take a little bit of doing. Moving around, the end of bench work here. And then these 4 turnout motors I've gotten installed. I've got them mounted on stir sticks, paint stir sticks, because they were thick enough that I could mount those screws into them while also not raising the switch motor to a level that the little metal spring trip pin wouldn't reach. Because the motors are about as close to the track as I want them to be with cars passing by and whatnot. And the metal rod that comes with the kit was just long enough after I'd bent it into shape that it would fit. And the part that sticks down through the drawbar here, or the throw bar, is about a 1/4 inch long. So I don't believe there's any chance that these things will pop out, because you can see the height from the staging level to the middle level. There's not going to be a whole lot of room to work. I'll be able to do it if I have to, but it's not something I want to mess with. So hopefully it'll work. But these have all been wired. I've had them hooked up to my power pack to make sure the motor works right, to make sure the throw bar works properly, and everything works just fine. So that way when I get the middle level installed above, I'll just be able to run this wire all the way to the control panel, which control panels for the staging will sit right in the middle of the staging yard. So this one will sit right about here, hanging down from the middle level. So I'll run wire from those machines and those machines to the central point here, wire them up to a single double pole, double throw toggle switch. So that throw will switch both switches at both ends. And then there'll be another switch for power routing to shut off power to these tracks. Anyway, moving around. Still have to get these motors installed. All this track is installed. Got the wire hooked up to most of it. This is where another wiring day would help to finish these up, as well as install these motors. Moving around. So hopefully by the next update, I'll have all that bench work in for the second level all the way down to here, so I can start building and installing control panels, so we can start testing trains back up the helix. That's all I've got for now. Again, I'm probably not going to do another operations video until Holly's complete, so hopefully another week or 2. But I am liking the format of 2-week updates, because even though I didn't get a whole lot done these last 2 weeks, I feel like it was enough worthy of doing a video. And then I guess I could show one other aspect real quick. Part of the plan does include some rolling stock weathering, so that I can try to keep the cars I keep featuring in my video showing that they have some weathering at least, instead of bright shiny new trucks and wheels. So I try to get at least one of these cars done every few days, and right now I'm working on this Rio Grande box car. It's not the greatest. I basically just do a lot of dry brushing and wet brushing with some paint thinner, but I get the trucks painted, try to get some of the couplers painted, just so it doesn't look brand new. So anyway, that's what I've got done for this 2-week period. Thanks for tuning in. Appreciate all the comments and questions. If you have any more, please feel free to let me know. I enjoy the conversation, and thanks for watching.